I refused to tell my husband what I do for work after he ignored me for 2 years. My husband Mike and I have been married for 18 years with 5 kids. I'm basically a stay-at-home mom who homeschools all of them and does pretty much everything around the house. Mike makes decent money, but with 5 growing kids, things were getting tight. 2 years ago, Mike started stressing about paying off our mortgage faster. He kept saying we needed more money coming in, or we'd have to cut back on vacations and Christmas presents. So even though I was already overwhelmed with everything at home, I found this part-time remote job in IT working 20 hours a week. The job was perfect. I could work from home between teaching the kids and doing laundry. Half my paycheck went toward the mortgage, and the other half covered our family trips and Christmas gifts. It solved all our money problems. But here's the thing that really bothered me. When I first got the job, Mike barely seemed to care. I tried telling him what I did, explaining the projects I worked on, sharing funny stories about my coworkers. Every single time, he'd either change the subject, start looking at his phone, or just say he didn't understand computer stuff. For 2 whole years, I'd come home excited about solving some technical problem or finishing a big project, and Mike would just nod and ask what was for dinner. Meanwhile, he had no problem talking about his work for hours, expecting me to listen to every detail about his meetings and office drama. Yesterday, I was on the phone with my friend talking about budget cuts at my company. Mike overheard me mention that I might get laid off after the new year. When I hung up, he suddenly started asking questions about my job security and whether I was worried. Then he asked the question that made my blood boil. What is it that you even do for work anyway? I just stared at him. After 2 years of bringing in money that paid for our family vacations and extra mortgage payments, he literally didn't know what my job was. I told him I'd tried explaining it multiple times, but he never seemed interested before. Mike got all defensive and said he was asking now, so why wouldn't I just tell him? I said it hurt that he'd never cared enough to listen when I was excited about my work, but now that there might be problems, suddenly he wanted details. That's when he got really mad. He started yelling about how I was keeping secrets from him and how married couples shouldn't hide things from each other. I told him I wasn't hiding anything. I just didn't feel like explaining something he'd ignored for 2 years. He called me childish and said if I wasn't going to tell him about my job, then he didn't need to talk to me at all. Then he hung up on me and wouldn't answer when I called back. I felt bad at first, but then I realized how crazy the whole situation was. This man had zero interest in the work that helped pay for our kids' Christmas presents and our family trip to Disney World last year. But the second there might be a problem, suddenly my job mattered to him. Mike finally called me back that night and apologized. He admitted he remembered me telling him about my work before, but said he couldn't remember the details. I apologized for overreacting, and we ended up having a really good talk about how we'd both been taking each other for granted. He even said if I lost my job or got too overwhelmed, we could cut back on the extra house payments and maybe hire a cleaning service to help me out. Sometimes it takes a fight to remember you're supposed to be on the same team.